So next up, we're going to hear from Ed Harris. He's with Visit Lancaster, and he's going to share some information about how Visit Lancaster has really worked with various influencers to draw attention to their destination. And I should point out, we did have some vibrant discussion with influencers yesterday to kind of give us a sense of the value and the impact that they bring to their various destinations. So Ed, I'm going to turn it over to you and let you share some insights. Mm-hmm.
Good morning, everybody. I realize I think I'm the last presentation before another break, so I'm going to try to get through this quickly. I have some interesting content to share, a few stats just on influencers in general. Then I'll get into a little bit of how we're working with accessibility influencers, and then wrap up with a new project we're working on. And so with that, though, I want to kick off my little talk here today with a video that we recently produced with one of our accessibility influencers. Her name is Alex Allen, and she is a Lancaster County resident. So if you're able to cue up the video, that would be great.
I grew up in an area that was very small with not a whole lot to do, and so living in Lancaster now with a multitude of different things from farmland to downtown makes for something to always do. Being able to go out and know that I'm able to access things and live my life independently is really important, and also saves me a lot of time and energy. Living in a chair can feel constricting at times, and so being able to go out and enjoy great food with friends and be able to be somewhere that I don't have to worry about accessibility, it's definitely freeing. There's a lot more than just living in a wheelchair. There's a lot of health things that we have to deal with, so being able to go out and have fun and be free just takes away from the things that we have to deal with on the day-to-day. Advocating for accessibility allows for people to be able to experience more and do more. We're not our limitations. It's easy to define ourselves by them, but I like to say we define that, and by being able to do that, you can accomplish much more than you think you're capable of.
So I'll talk a little bit more about what we're doing with Alex here in a minute, but I do want to just touch on the very basics, and I know most of you already know this, but just in case, what is influencer marketing as a refresher? Well, it's the practice of borrowing an individual's social currency to achieve a brand objective through word-of-mouth recommendations, and it's primarily playing out on Instagram, TikTok, of course, YouTube, and Facebook. And some interesting stats here, 92% of consumers trust recommendations from people over brands, and 78% of brands say influencer creative performs as well as or outperforms branded assets. And then 34% of people have purchased based on an influencer's post. So obviously influencer marketing is really important for any business. And when you just look at the spending happening in terms of influencer marketing, you can see there that Instagram certainly leads the way with average spending of $2.23 billion. And you can see there followed by YouTube, TikTok, Facebook. And then lastly, on the stats point of view, the influencer marketing shows no sign of slowing down. You can see that bar chart kind of explains it, and how influencer marketing spend year over year just continues to climb. 50% of millennials trust recommendations from influencers. 64% of marketers respect their influencer marketing or expect their influencer marketing budgets to increase in 2023. And so that leads me back to the video, the star of the video, I should say, Alex Allen. She relocated to our neck of the woods in Lancaster County, Pennsylvania, and she has, as you can see on the screen, over 75,000 followers. She's a fantastic accessibility influencer. She's very active She's also an archery instructor. And we worked with her to put the spotlight on a wide range of things to do on the accessibility front throughout Lancaster County, Pennsylvania. We're also fortunate that in Pennsylvania we work with Jen Allen, no relation to Alex Allen, it's just a coincidence. But for those of you who do know Jen, she has the Wonders Within Reach accessible family adventures travel block. And I highly recommend you check it out or write it down. I'll say it again. It's called Wonders Within Reach Accessible Family Adventures. And we've worked with her to develop weekend itineraries on the accessibility front. And as people sign up to do those weekend itineraries and stay overnight in the lodging options that have great accessible rooms, we invite them and ask them to tag us on their weekend with their social media experience. So separate from just working with one specific person, we're also trying to encourage people who visit Lancaster County to also post and post often, which leads me to sort of the next phase of our accessibility marketing. What we're trying to do at Discover Lancaster is weave in accessibility wherever we can with our key events throughout the calendar year. And so in September of this year, we will have our 13th annual Lancaster Balloon Festival coming up about a month from now. And actually, I'm learning a lot, having been in the destination for 3 years, about hot air balloon rides in the sense that they take off very early in the morning because of the winds in the air, and or they take off much later in the day, 4 or 5 p.m. And so we're planning to have Alex, our influencer, go up in one of these hot air balloons on 2 separate dates last week, and we had lots of plans centered around these potential dates with drone video cameras as the balloon was going up and just trying to film the experience. And unfortunately, although the weather seemed to be cooperating, the winds were not. And so both dates were canceled. And hopefully we'll be filming that in the next few weeks so that we can get ahead of the rapidly approaching balloon festival. But with that, it's a huge event every year, and we only learned recently that these hot air balloon rides can be accessible. There's certain balloons that are accessible, and we want to make sure, because it's such an important event, because it's growing every year, they're adding a 4th day this year to the festival, we want to make sure we're weaving in that you can have this experience at this big festival every year that welcomes thousands of people to our region. So that's an example of a future project which is right around the corner. But from an accessible influencer standpoint, I just want to kind of close by saying that everybody in this room is an influencer. Whether you have 75,000 followers or maybe you have 25 followers, we can all influence people when we go back to our communities and make sure that we're continuing to build awareness for accessibility.